CoastLife, we're gonna take you back a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean quite a lot of it. Picture it, Rehoboth Beach. 1910s, sort of golden age era, we're thinking. Railroad construction is all the rage, but to tell you a little bit more about bringing that history to life we've got Nathaniel Wilder with Chesapeake and Maine and Heidi Nasstrom-Evans with the Rehoboth Beach Museum. Thank you guys for coming back. Heidi, we've talked to you before about this event coming up, but there's just so much of it going on that it needs its own interview.
Yeah, and now that the menu is fully developed by Nathaniel and Ryan from Chesapeake and Maine, we wanted the audience to hear from them, from the source, the great meal that Chesapeake and Maine is putting on that will benefit the museum.
Yes, so that's sort of the theme of the evening is going to be this dinner that really is based off of real menus that you guys have found and collected from that sort of time frame era. And Nathaniel, you are one of the brilliant masterminds behind putting this menu together. How did you kind of take, from paper to what we're going to see at this dinner?
Yeah, well, we were really fortunate to have these resources from the museum where we were able to go back and sort of look at these menus from the golden age of Rehoboth Beach. And really just having some of the limitations that you would have from that era allowed us to kind of narrow down the view of what we wanted to seek out. So we pulled a few things directly from older menus. This area has, for a long time, had a history with poultry, and that is reflected in some of these older menus like the Hotel Henlopen and the Rehoboth Beach Hotel. So we ended up pulling a couple dishes directly from and then elevated them to a more modern.
Now this is a 4-course meal, correct? So there's a lot kind of to explore.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
each course has a signature drink that goes with it.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's
Yes.
really beautifully done by you and Ryan.
Right, yeah, no, we are really fortunate to have Ryan Warwick as our lead mixologist, and he is really great at just pulling in these playful notes and throwing in some historical references as well
Yes.
to the menus. So when we were both looking at these menus, he was super engaged with trying to tie in historical events, and if you come to the dinner, you'll be able to see those tie-ins as we play them into our courses.
Yes.
So.
And with Chesapeake and Maine, you know it's going to be a delicious dinner. And I mean, again, 4 courses, you're not going to leave hungry, that's for sure. Heidi, how fun has it been for you to kind of team up with these guys and really bring, what's sort of just a piece of paper to life?
Well, it was really exciting because when Chesapeake and Maine told us that they'd be willing to do the benefit dinner for us, they wanted to come to the museum, tour the museum, and we thought, well, we should look in our collection to see if we have historic menus from that period. I know we have a lot from the more recent past, but we were able to find menus from as early as 1900. I brought 2 menus that Ryan said specifically inspired him. So I wanted to.
And these are so cool. I mean, they're in remarkable shape for how old they are.
Right. I think that.
That's what our younger coworkers say about me too.
Ryan, didn't you say this one from the Hotel Henlopen was of particular
yes,
interest?
Absolutely. We took a couple of direct plays from this menu. This is a large menu, especially for that time, and by modern standards, this is still it's still large. But they have on here, if I can pull it up, the fried milk-fed chicken a la Delaware, which is a cute play on it, and then fried milk-fed chicken. But you see a lot of these references to the local poultry.
That's so funny. Does that say cigars at the bottom? Is that on the menu?
Yes, that is. Cigars are on the menu.
Amazing.
But you have a lot of these plays on poultry and taking a lot of the same ingredients and reworking them across the board. So you could have 1 or 2 ingredients, but then play them up in a way that still gave people options despite having more of a limited actual protein distribution.
Our agriculture and so much of what makes our area special is still in play when it comes to feeding our community.
I mean, I was just so excited to see what Nathaniel and Ryan put together from looking at these pretty simple menus. I think there was one more menu that Ryan was going to tell us about with the Rehoboth Beach Bellhaven Hotel from 1938. Wasn't there something from there that you were inspired by?
Absolutely. So desserts and sort of end of course meal additives at this era were actually pretty simple. You have a lot of these sort of emphasis on fresh fruit. We are not going to pull Jell-O, unfortunately. I think it's not. We're not going back to aspics, unfortunately. But this particular menu had a lot of plays into fresh local vegetables, like just lettuce and cucumber salad. So trying to take these elements of simplicity and elevating them into something more interesting, like we have cucumber caviar on this menu. Yeah, pulling that up a little bit with our scallop course, and we have a sea glass spinach like set solution. Basically, it's like a fried gelatin that's really tasty. Not as weird as it sounds, but the simplistic end of dinner aperitifs kind of really were interesting to us, both for a cocktail reference and for a dessert. And so we brought in these delicious Delaware peaches and are going to be serving those with a allspice chantilly poached in some of our products that we make as a Dogfish Company on site. So we're just really fortunate to be able to play around with these without having to dive too far away from the inspiration.
It's going to be really delicious and a whole lot of fun. So Heidi, the when and where one more time for folks so that they know when they're making their reservation for.
So it's Tuesday, August 27th, and it's the entire dinner hour from 4 to 10 p.m.
Yum.
And again, people can make their reservations on the Chesapeake and Maine website, or they can call the restaurant.
Yes, be a good guest, make those reservations. But we got to take a quick break. Thank you guys so much for coming in and getting everybody excited for this dinner. It's going to be really fun and, of course, benefits a great cause. But when we get back, we're taking a trip outside to see some art.